Okay, y'all know I'm loving trying to work out my uh pictures and my music and everything all at the same time. I absolutely love trying to learn how to do it, but I am so grateful that I don't have to try to do this all the time, every time, but it's coming together and it's working out great. Welcome, welcome everybody to Mondays in the Meditation Room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. It's Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is the place and space for all things enlightenment and empowerment for Black women in midlife, where we are redefining midlife, we are reimagining, we are reinventing, we are redefining what it means to be a Black woman in midlife, this greatest season of our lives. I am so excited that you are back with me on today, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching the replay. There's always something good happening in the room. I'm not going to do a whole lot of preliminary talking on tonight, except to say welcome. We're so glad that you are here with us on tonight. But guess what? I am not by myself tonight, and I am so looking forward to this conversation. I get to have two amazing women. They've both been here in the meditation room individually, but tonight I'm bringing them on together because they are doing something amazing together for women. And so I wish I had a clap track. If I don't, just go ahead and clap where you are, whenever you're watching, if you're watching now, as I prepare to bring up into the room Pastor Veda McCoy. Yeah, I
Hey,
couldn't make my own noise. I had to get some clapping shots.
Ryan, how
Just to
are
do
you?
and Dr. Monica
Yeah.
Holmes.
Hello,
Yay.
good evening.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing on this fine Monday evening?
Woo. We are
Right?
okay. Very good.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
very well.
Monday.
Thank you.
It's Monday, right? I'm
Yes.
trying to dispel all of the things that we say about Monday and make it a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a
Every
day.
day is a good day.
Every day is a good day. And especially when we get together in the meditation room. I'm so glad. Welcome back, y'all, because y'all both been in the room before, had an
Yes.
amazing conversation talking about being Black women, being in midlife and moving forward. And tonight, though, I want to spend most of our time talking about a project that both of you had. Last year was the very first time, correct?
The first
Yes.
time in person and the first time that we partnered. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's right, because it was virtual. The first time was
It was
virtual.
actually
And it
only
was,
supposed to be a pandemic thing. It was just, God gave it to me at the end of 2020, I'm saying. Yeah. And to call the ladies together, it was called Exhale Virtual Conference for Women, I think it was. And God was told me to just bring people together to encourage the women, to lift them up and to help them get their breath back, because the whole notion with COVID is that it was restricting and constricting your breath, and it had all of us both physically, naturally, spiritually, emotionally, literally holding our breaths. Like we did not know when the other shoe was going to drop. We didn't know what else was going to happen to our way of life, our way of worship, our way of family. We just did not know. And we were literally building the airplane as we were flying it, building
yeah.
it and learning to fly while the airplane was already at 30,000 feet. And so I came up with the idea that we could bring someone to basically Exhale is the conference designed to create an atmosphere and a room where women can get their breath back. They can learn to breathe for themselves and breathe again by addressing the various areas that take our breath away, whether it's
Oh,
family, whether it's finance, whether it's personal leadership, career, whether it's grief. Grief is a big part of the Exhale thing, because we have so much that we're actually grieving, not just when people leave us in the physical, but we're grieving all the time, And we could talk more about that. But and then of course, you brought the piece of meditation and midlife. So that's exhale. And then the next year, I really wasn't going to do it. And Dr. Monica and I, we are extended quote unquote family. We're also professional colleagues working in the school system and friends. And she just said, you have to do it. And I'll help you. I'll help you because I wasn't going to do it.
And see, and that's where Pastor Vita's being modest. I attended the conference virtually, and it was
Yeah.
such a blessing because, as she shared, there were so many different topics that were relatable, right, and meaningful at that time in our lives. And she, it was wonderful. I shared with her how excited I was and how impactful it was for me. And I was like, you have to do this. You have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it live. I'll help you, because I was excited. I said, and we have to extend it because oftentimes when we're in the church world, we kind of limit ourselves to the church world. I said, no, this is for people at work. This is for people in the marketplace. This is for everyone, right? So we have to do this. We have to share this with other women because it is such a blessing. So that's where the in-person Exhale was birthed, but it was a phenomenal. Pastor Vita was definitely the visionary for this, right? And we've added to it to offer that face-to-face component. And last year it was amazing. It was
Oh my
amazing.
God. Well, it
And if
was.
I could just share this, when I told her I would help her, that's what I wanted to do, help her. I had no idea.
That I was gonna go get a flyer done. I said,
She said, when I saw the agenda, I was like, what's this? What am I going to do? And
because I'm the life guru. That's me.
there, and I was like, no, I'm helping you. So
and Dr. Monica, you were phenomenal. It was, you know what, y'all?
She rocked it, didn't she, Kelly? She rocked it.
But can I tell y'all, this whole pandemic and menopause brain stuff, because Vita, I literally had almost forgotten that it started virtually. I was like, last year was the first year, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, you're right. It was virtual the very first time. And
because
then,
remember, we did, is that the event I did? I'm just always creating something where we had the pajama party that night or something like that.
It was,
and we had the mojito. We gave the recipe for the drink and all it. I think that might have been for my win. I can't remember, but it was a full day in the morning and at night. It was a full virtual conference.
It was
and Monica has always supported me. Dr. Monica, as we call her, has always supported me, always pushed me, and she registered and she attended. And I thought that was going to be the end of it. I wasn't trying to But listen, those ladies in that room last year, and they said, we want to keep it going. This is for us. This is our place. This is our respite. And the speakers enjoyed it. And, we just have to see what God does and, where he takes it. Of course, the sky is the limit. If you can dream it, you can do it. But God is so good and faithful.
Man, it was
Kelly, can I just say, I can't find us on live.
Yeah, I was also looking as well. I wanted to share it.
It's on. I'm actually on the Enlightened Woman Facebook page.
Okay.
It's live. And the other group is a private group if people are already.
So let me see. Now, the Enlightened Woman, I can't share it from there either. So
it won't allow you.
Nope.
Are you on Enlightened Woman? Because there's two. Enlightened Woman without the in front of it is a private group. So if you're a part of that, and it might not let you share from there, but if you're on the Enlightened Woman,
oh my goodness,
I'm looking at that one myself. I'm looking at that one myself.
Okay, now I can share from here. Yeah, because I want to bring the ladies, because we have Exhale Facebook group. And we also have, we have a community that we're building. That's really the vision, to build a community of women who move through and understand what the Exhale experience is about. And now that's what it's called now, the Exhale experience for women. And I think that's one of the things that Dr. Monica and I collaborated on, because she was saying it was an experience. It wasn't just a conference, so.
Awesome. So y'all are on were you able to get on Dr. Monica so you can share it? It's on The Enlightened Woman. And
I
I'm
just
praying
got it. I'm a little slower than Pastor Vita, but I'm good. It's on now. We good.
I am sharing and typing and multitasking as we speak.
yes, so you should be able to share it as well. So that's good. So that the sister will see it. And the one thing that I love about streaming like this and YouTube is that most of the time my comments and everything are women who watch it at their leisure. And that's what I really love about this technology, because everybody's schedule is so busy. They can't always see it when you're absolutely doing it live. But then I go back and people, women have watched and left comments later. So they have time to follow up. And I wanted to have you guys talk about what the exhale experience means to you personally, because I know you're both leaders. You're always pushing women and encouraging women and looking, unlocking women and strength finding other women. What does this exhale experience for women mean to you personally? Because I know sometimes it's hard when you are the founders and the creators, and you are really working at pulling it all together. But what about this strikes your heart or pricks your heart or pulls at your heart? Why this is so important to you personally?
Dr. Monica, you want to go?
Oh, I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. As I mentioned earlier, that the whole experience, the initial experience, was a true blessing, because not only was there information that was shared that was beneficial, just the bonding and the connection with other women at different phases in their life, and so just you last year, you really because we're about the same age, Pastor Kelly, Dr. Kelly, and um sometimes I don't realize that I'm that age, right? Because so, because a lot of people, a lot of my associates and some friends are somewhat younger, and so I put myself in that space. But the information that you shared about midlife was just revolutionary for me, right? And I'm able now to embrace those things, right? And everything that was shared at the conference last year, exhaling for me is just being able to be me and being
Mhm,
free in that space. And it's okay for everything not to be okay, right?
mhm,
Because it will get
Woo!
okay,
That's it
right?
right there. It's
And
okay for
so not
everything not to
living
be
to
okay.
other
Good God Almighty.
standards, but living
mhm,
to the standard of Monica, right? And living in a place where she's at peace, she's content. And so having that spent that day with the women sharing, and then Dr. Vita with the penguins and you with the
oh my
mid,
Lord, the
you know,
turtles.
it was amazing. And so as I mentioned earlier, it was never my intent to be on the platform. It was always my intent, but being on that platform told
Mhm.
me you can be on this platform and you
Yes,
can be
right.
intense. So exhale for me has just it's changed my life, right? It as in regards
Oh.
to just being free in who I am, and moving in that space.
Mhm.
So it's a blessing. It's a true blessing.
Pastor Vita.
Wow. Well, that's it right there. That's the exhale experience for me, when someone can come and experience the vision that God gives me, the vision that God allows me to partner with, amazing people like you, Dr. Monica, and people leave changed. I've
Mhm,
been doing Unlock Your Life now probably for close to over 15 years. And when people let me know that what I've shared with them, what I've taught them, what I've modeled for them, the event that I curated, that it changed their life. That is that's my purpose. That's how I choose to show up. That's how
mhm,
I am. I'm convinced that I will leave a legacy, in the world. And
mhm,
so for me, the exhale experience is all about creating that room for other people. And when I see it, ultimately, people always want to hear, the host or the founder or the visionary. But ultimately, sometimes I'm too excited, like in what's going on, to actually take it all in. Like I just want to take it in. I don't even really have to speak, although that is the other part of my purpose. When I
Mhm.
speak and when I pour out and when I see, it's just like, oh my goodness, like last year on the panel, I hadn't even really planned to do all of that at the time of the panel, but it was the moment, it was the purpose moment, the life
Mm.
changing, the transformational moment. Same thing, with the rest of the day. And when I see the ladies breakthrough, I'm good. I'm
Mhm.
good.
There's something about when the women come with the level of expectation. I think there was a level of I don't know what to expect, but I'm expecting something. And I believe it pulls on, the visionaries, the founders, the organizers, that the ideas that something happens in that moment that's not necessarily planned. It's just the
Mm.
movement of it, and that was so evident on so many levels. So let's talk about for a few moments why, because I know you mentioned the pandemic, but for women of all ages, what is it that we see happening in women's lives that make them even stop breathing or hoping or believing? How do we, what are those things that snatch our breath away, that snatch and take away those moments that we need to find ourselves again? Let's talk about that for women, the reality
Mhm.
of what that means, that we need things like exhale.
So I can go again. So one of the things that I shared during my time sharing last conference was we as women often feel the need to be everything for everybody, right? And we invest so much time pouring into others where we don't take time for ourselves. And so that is a definite breath snatcher, because we have to do this and we have to be here and we have to do this. And we can't say no, because if we say no, then we're wrong, right? So if we put ourselves in that position of pressure and we put ourselves in the position of having to be everything for everybody
So,
all the time, then we have nothing for ourselves, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. So we have to learn that it's okay to say no. It's okay to pause. It's okay
Mhm.
not to do, because if we don't, those things will overwhelm us, and those things will take us to a place where everyone else around us is well, but we're
Mhm.
suffering, right?
mm,
And
mm,
Mhm.
oftentimes we do that in silence. We
Mhm.
might not have that good girlfriend. We might not have, a spouse that's understanding. We may not have someone, so we suffer in silence. So those things definitely snatch your breath away.
Oh, that's good.
yeah, yeah. For me, I agree with everything that Dr. Monica said, but for me, it's also a metaphysical application of the ideology, right? So the breath is life. The breath is God, and it causes us to not only live but to connect with God. And I
Mhm.
think that life in and of itself consumes us, right? And
Mhm.
it consumes us on a continual basis. And it's almost like a car that has a full tank of gas. That car is going to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, because we take on all these roles. A lot of the roles before we're ready for them, before they fully understand. I know I wasn't ready for marriage. I wasn't ready for motherhood. I really wasn't ready for ministry. I did a lot of things early, way too soon, because it was in me and because of my personality and who I am. I'm just out there doing it. And it wasn't until I got to be like 50, 45, and 50, and I was completely exhausted, and I
Mm.
looked back, and I looked at my life and said, you've done things in your 20s and your 30s that people wait until they're 50 and 60 to do. And in doing
Mhm.
that, there's a lot, you don't know what you don't know. You don't
Mhm.
know what you don't know. And so as life brings these things, but I really believe that that's my pathway. That was my journey. That was my path. It couldn't have been any other way because I'm not going to live in regret, but it was for me to learn to share that
Yeah.
experience. Like, slow down, take your
Mhm.
time. You are already full. You are already complete. I was a doer, right? Doing instead of being, because that
Mhm.
is my God self. That is when I'm truly in touch with myself. And in order for
Mhm.
me to build something like Exhale, it has to come from that place, because I know how to recognize that. Oh, you're not living. You're not in tune
Mhm.
with the breath, with your true self. You're spending the gas that's in the tank, right? Sort of like what Monica said. And that car is gonna keep going until it's on E, until the red light comes on, until you know how we drive on fumes. We know how
Mhm.
far we can go when the light is on and the needle is past the E. It's like, oh, I can make it to work and I get gas on the way home, right? And we treat ourselves that way. So that's one application of it, to tell the ladies to take life as it comes, but also do not become so consumed with performing, with
Mhm.
obtaining, with achieving, with seeking validation outside of yourself. So that's a
Mhm.
large part of the exhale experience, allowing them to connect with their God selves, with the God within. Breathe.
Yes.
Make a
Don't
practice of
get
breathing.
me started
Mhm.
on the
And then the
breath.
other side of that, yeah, the other side of that is everything that you said. As life brings those situations to us, one of the ways that we are able to keep going is by stuffing, right, what we need, and suffocating, almost showing up
Mhm.
smiling. Your heart is broken,
Mhm.
smiling, you in so much pain.
Mhm.
A lot of us hemorrhaging physically and spiritually, literally, like, oh well, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just make sure I show up, like Monica said, right? So that's the other part of it, is that when you lose a loved one and can't even take time to grieve because you got a business to run, a job or a career, a degree to finish, children to raise, a marriage that's barely holding on, when your
Mhm.
finances are on E, and you really don't even want to work this job no more. You want to go and do your dream, right? That's your breath taken away, right, of your God self. So you keep on doing that in every area. So we were very strategic and intentional about the areas that we are bringing, right?
Mhm.
And the speakers, like this year, one of the when we did the debrief and the reflection, Dr. Monica said we need to bring somebody in on finance. And she,
Mhm.
through her connections, and that's why collaboration and connections and partnerships are so important. She got us the world renowned Michelle Singletary is coming
Yeah.
to talk about money, because one of the things, just hold our breath, like we don't even want to check our bank balance because we like, it's probably it's probably on, or it sure don't have what I need and what I want in it, right? So she's
Mhm.
coming. Every area that takes your breath away is going to be tapped into and addressed at Exhale 2023.
What I absolutely love about it, and even uh, first let me, because y'all know, y'all, since y'all on, this is Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for midlife musings. I want to talk about that idea. Vita is radical, and it is disconcerting for some, and it is literally upending our traditional thinking that 50s and 60s are the season of confidence because you've done the work of learning to be yourself, and then you start walking in it in another level in that age, because the a lot of the research that I've been doing is that when you in midlife and 40, starting for some 45 and up through 65, when you hit that 50, 55 mark, you're supposed to be a totally different woman. and walking fully in your actualized self because you've been allowed to learn, to heal, to be whole, and to do the work on yourself to be completely free in who you are. That's a that whole thought process is so unnerving for some people because we've been taught to hit the ground running and
Yep.
performing and doing all of that stuff that we're not spiritually sometimes ready to be doing, except to just get to know myself,
Yep. Yep.
enjoy myself,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
strengthen
I agree.
my inner me,
Yep.
and
And
then
you
start.
really do. Mhm. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And you really don't know who you are
That's
until
it.
40 something, 50 something. Like really, you do not know who you are. I just recently said, I love my whole era when I was wearing, changing my wig every day and weaves and, doing all that kind of stuff. And I loved it. But I realized that I had moved past that mainly because I would snatch that wig off as soon as I got in the car because I'm hot. I'm going through midlife, right? And so, and I wanted a style. I wanted something, I wanted something that I could like look at and say, that's my hairstyle, and so I'm okay with that, and something as simple as that. But the hair or a woman's hair is like so defining. It's like, why aren't you wearing your hair? It's so beautiful, but it was natural. Then I was trying to think, why am I natural? Like somebody told me when in 2011, I was getting perms all those years. Why am I natural? Something that I just adapted and put on, took on because, oh, that's what people were doing, And so I just think that you don't know who you are and you're really evolving. My identity really was a mother raising them kids. That was who I was, right? That was who I had to be, being a wife, all of that. But now that I own more of my time and I know who I am, and I've experienced some things that makes you say, what the fruit cheese, you know,
Mhm.
about everything else. Put your mother in the ground, your father in the ground. You go through enough in life, you realize the stuff that you're trying to do and the people you're trying to impress.
Mhm.
Breathe, right? Yep.
Mhm.
I have a funny about the hair. So, like I said, embracing this whole era, I'm learning. So, I'm good to keep a bottle of Clairol under my sink. If I can't get to the salon, I can do it myself. Last week, there was a little patch right here, and I said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I think I like that. I'm gonna let that little piece stay, right?" Then I said, "No, you're not ready yet." So I went and got my Clairol and took care of it. But I left a piece right on the side that was. I said, "You know what? It is what it is. It looks
It is
good. I'm
what it
not
is.
going back to the Clairol." So we get to a point where it's okay. I'm okay. That's
Mhm.
me. I'm fine, and I'm still gonna look good. So it is what it is. And on
Mm-hmm.
another note about that 50 thing, I talked to a young lady. I had dinner with a young lady early this week, and she just turned 50. She has been consumed with being a wife, a mother, and a pastor. And she says there's some things that she wants to do now for her because
Mm-hmm.
she's
Mhm.
been consumed with everyone else. And it's just like I just wanted to mention that 50, it seems like that 48, 49, 50, that light bulb, it's just something that goes off in your head that says, wait a minute, it's time for me.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's okay because we've given ourselves to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Enjoy
Mhm. And
doing it because that's what
Yeah,
and
we
you
that's
do.
who
did
you
it.
were at the time.
But it's
That's who
okay
you were at the
now.
time, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how about for me, I'm resting in the divineness of it all
Mhm.
because that shift happens because God created it to happen. And when we
Mhm.
don't embrace it and allow it to happen and to transform our thinking about life, we're going to continue to suffer. And we don't
Mm-hmm.
need to suffer. And it's the world around us that makes us afraid of this season of self assurance and confidence
Mhm.
and growth. that we have to keep going back and staying stuck when everything in you is wired to move forward. Man, so let's talk about some of the things you're going to be talking about at Exhale.
Okay. You want to go? Okay. So we're keeping it pretty much the same, a lot of it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But we also listen to the feedback and we reflect it within ourselves. So we are extending the panel portion, right? We're having the guest speakers will have a shorter amount of time to speak individually, but together, the time that they're going to speak collectively on the panel is longer. And we didn't have a panel host last year. So now we have Tama Aziz Sawar, who just happened to be there, and she was a fantastic host. So she's going to be the host. That's one thing. Also, we're in a bigger venue. And what I would say too is a more aligned venue with the caliber of the event, right? So we have more space, so we're able to spread out a little bit. So we're bringing back, of course, Reverend Dr. Kelly V. Hayes, my sister friend, and you're going to be talking about both midlife, and also you're going to be talking about the part about meditation as well, freeing us. Because another thing that we have to realize is that your body is going through a change, but all of you is changing, and that includes a lot of your spiritual sacred cows and different things like that. And people are not always free. We can't we're not always free in every context to let our hair down in that way. So that's why the serenity experience was so important to me, because it was an environment where I could be spiritual without being religious. You know what I mean? Or I could express divinity without, like I had committed, blasphemy. And Exhale is another room like that. It's a spiritual room. We're Christians, we're women of faith, but it's not a religious event. It's not a church event. And it's allowing us to expand spiritually. And that's really where you come in. We're bringing in Dr. Vicki Johnson, who's going to talk about soul wealth and sisterhood, because some of us need to get it together in that area. Let's just be honest. Like, we don't have any friends that's past a month old. Like, you should have somebody in your life that you've known longer than a decade. Okay. So get your soul right, so you can, the Bible says prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So Vicky's going to do that. Lisa Clark Harvin. I mean, yeah, you see all the doors that God is opening for her, because grief is so important. So she's going to talk about from grief to serenity, I think it is. Michelle Singletary, we've already talked about. I'm going to be talking about unlocking your life, manifesting what already exists. That's the vein that God has me in. And then this powerhouse right here, she's back on the stage. Dr. Monica, you could tell us what you're bringing at that for XL 23.
I just want to kind of extend what we talked about, the power to be me last year, and then just knowing your why and operating in that space. Knowing your why and operating freely in that space, right? So just an extension of what we shared last year, and just to move on, just to continue to empower women to be comfortable in the skin that they're in, right?
So I love it. So
and I'm going to, one of the things that I'm going to do, last year I gave them the model of the turtle, right? Being that one, keep going. And so
I said penguins. I'm sorry, it was turtles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, same thing. Every animal, every species got a little beast in them. You got to get to the point where you like, today I'm the one that's gonna make it, right?
That's right.
But this year I'm going to be given a framework for understanding your purpose, a framework. So many people are just all over the place with that. And God gave me, I did something recently, a vision board party, I guess you could say, and God gave me a framework. And a lot of the stuff is like I was saying earlier, a lot of the stuff that God downloads to me, I'm like, this is good. But but a lot of times we don't celebrate it because it's just us. Oh, that's just no. But this, if you don't come for any other reason, this framework is going to set you up for moving to the next level of your freedom to breathe,
Mm.
right? Your freedom to
Yeah,
be yourself. Yep.
so good. That's so good. Well, I just wanted to have you guys on and talk about it because it's so important. And it was so encouraging to see, which was, last year. Vita mentioned the Serenity. We didn't do it, the Serenity experience last year, and we're doing it again in the fall. Y'all need something for the spring and the fall.
Yep.
Get it
Mhm.
in. I'm going to put your flyer up so people can see it, because the what you were talking about is what you just said was is not a religious event. Many of the women are churched, but it's not a church event.
Mm-hmm.
And the courage it takes to cross that line and then find out you're not going to crumble or
You ain't
disappear
gonna
or fall
burst in the flame. You're not gonna
away,
combust
burst into
and go
flames.
straight to hell. Right.
Not going to go straight to hell, because people have created that line. I think that's a whole level of control and manipulation for me, because I've learned to start saying there is no demarcation between. If I'm talking about my money, I'm talking about my stewardship, I'm talking about me, then I'm talking about God. If I'm talking about my
Mm.
relationship with other people, then I'm talking about me, then I'm talking about God, right? So if I'm talking about developing a framework so I can get in alignment with God for my purpose, then it's all one thing. And that, to me, and like Dr. Monica was saying, we're talking about what it means to be ourselves, to be you, and to what your why is. That's God wants us to know that. And so that's all sacred and it's all spiritual to me. We confuse people. I think we put too much of a burden on them when we try to say this is church over here, that ain't church over there. And it is all divine. And I think it's great that you are pushing the envelope across the table, stepping over that line so people see it's okay to be holistic in your wholeness, not just in church, and thinking the rest is not God. It keeps us stuck, I think. And so that's why I
Mm-hmm.
think this is so important and so amazing. So I'm going to put it up so people can see before we close out tonight, and where they can go find more information. So even though they can't see us, they can see this.
Okay.
They can see the title, the speakers, they can see the hosts, and they can see the pricing. Most of all, we want them to see where they can get more information. Exhale 2023.rsvipfy.com, and I'm sure they can get all of the information there. And I'm sure there's contact information somewhere on there if they have any questions or need more information. I just want to encourage you guys to go check it out, and to stop and take a moment, which is something else we don't really talk about. The
Mm-hmm.
genius of reflection, the genius of stopping and feeling not feeling guilty or ashamed. That was some serious work they did on women to make us feel guilty and ashamed for prioritizing our well-being and just stopping and thinking and reflecting on our lives. So I think the Excel experience for women is going to go a long way for freeing us up to know that that's okay.
Mm. Thank you, Lord. That's good. That's good stuff. And right now they have a few days and we have a few discount tickets left, so that they can register for just $100. And I think that's like 25 or so dollars off the regular registration rate. So from now until March 31st, because we're taking that down as of March 31st. And we want, the ladies to to go ahead and register, and you can come alone for a day of just, being with yourself and being in the room with other people and seeing what that experience is like. You can bring your good girlfriend, your soror, whatever, your sister, your cousin, or you can come with a group. It doesn't matter. It is the type of event that will suit all of those seekers. We're preparing. Like, there's a lot of work that has gone into it, and we're also going to have t-shirts. Did I say we're going to have vendors? We're going to have vendors. So the experience is been elevated, right? We took it from virtual to a space, because we didn't even like, well, are people even paying to come to live events? And Monica was like, yes, I went to some. They're going to do what you have. You need somebody to just push you like that, and and now we are in a ballroom with big televisions and teletrons and all that kind of stuff. Yes. So the experience itself. Oh, there's a hot plated lunch. Last year we had box lunches, but this year there's a hot plated lunch in addition to the breakfast service, the continental breakfast service, and the VIP experience has been elevated as well. So it is going to be a longer period of time. It's in a separate ballroom with a buffet lunch. So that will give you that interaction time, one-on-one time, lots of networking. We're going to actually, probably try to do some networking drills. Like, when you enter a room, how do you network? What do you do? And also, of course, the, face-to-face time with the speakers. But so the experience itself has been elevated. And so we're really, really hoping and praying. I'm on my knees every day and every night. Lord, let the ladies come, set their minds and their expectations where it needs to be, so that experience just explodes on April 22nd.
Awesome. That was the thing that was missing. I don't think we focused on that April 22nd. It'll be here before we know it. First of all, I can't even believe we're talking about April, but April is here. It's right around the corner. We talking Easter and Palm Sunday and Easter and carrying on already in 2023. But
Already.
that is headed into the second quarter of the year. And I think there's enough that has already happened in your lives where April is a great time to stop and exhale and breathe again, to give you more of what you need to keep on keeping on in 2023. Thank you, Pastor Veda and Dr. Monica, for hanging out with me in the meditation room to talk about this so important time in our lives and the opportunity to get what you need, because we often keep going and trying to do it on our own because we think there's no help out there for us. We think that we can't get what we need when we absolutely can get what you need, and the support and the information is out there, and most importantly, like-minded women that you can walk with and journey with to get better and to get your life back, get your breath back. Yay. Thank
That's the
y'all so
thing.
much.
Loving
Hmm.
and embracing yourself as a liberated and a woman free to exhale will help you make room for real and authentic relationships with other women in your life. And that women get along, we love each other, we support each other, we challenge each other, we embrace, and so that is why we're trying to build such a community, and perhaps one day, go somewhere together as a community, all things in time, because when you find your
Hmm.
vibe will attract your tribe. And when
Yep.
you are
Yep.
moving and flowing in your vibe, and your
Hmm.
tribe shows up, life goes to another level.
Goes to another level, goes to another level. And life is too short to be worried about people around you that can't let you be me. I mean, let you be you and accept you for who you are without judging and all of that. It's too short, too short.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
that is so good. Thank y'all. And you had some wonderful comments. If you want to go back and watch or scroll down to the
Yeah, I was
comments.
watching those.
Yeah, so it's good. So you have them here, and then the sisters who will watch later. We'll probably end up doing a repost just so that the women can always get what they need. I believe they'll come to it just when they need it and just when they
Mm-hmm.
need to. So we are speaking wonderful, good things and good success for Exhale on April 22nd. And don't forget to go and look for
Can't
it.
wait.
And you guys got have a Facebook page as well?
Yes, the
Mhm.
Exhale Experience for Women is a public Facebook group that they can join.
Mhm.
And,
Okay.
it's people post in there, but mostly we post about Exhale, and we try to
Mhm.
keep like I've been posting some of the videos from the first conference, or, as a flyer, I mean, not a flyer, as a picture or a memory comes up in my timeline, I'll share it in the group. Updates about the conference are really important. This is a really important time of year.
Mhm.
So just join the group and get with the vibe.
Love it. Love it.
Thank
I
you so
thank
much.
you for joining, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being there in the vibe for Exhale. So thank you all. Have an amazing, restful evening. Y'all know what to do. Find some time to get your ritual together so that you can have some rest, power down, get quiet, spend some time with yourself, and make sure you remember to rediscover the joy of being you in midlife and beyond. Absolutely love y'all. See y'all again
Thank you.
on next
Love you.
Monday.
We have to get together too, Dr. Kelly. We still have to get together.
Still got to do it. We still got to do
All righty.
it.
Thanks
Come
for
I
on,
love
having us.
Sunday.
All right. Love you.
y'all.